What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dom, and we live on 2.6 acres in South Carolina. That's coastal South Carolina, zone 8B. Today I'm going to be working in my house because we have a really big preservation day. I picked lots of cucumbers, tomatoes, and peppers yesterday, and I want to get them preserved. I already had a bunch of cucumbers inside my house, as well as peppers and tomatoes. So what we did, as you saw at the beginning of the video, is I used this. I can link one of these below, just to cut my cucumbers with a little design. So I cut all the cucumbers I had, and then I had some big Armenian yard-long cucumbers that I actually had my daughter, I started it, but then I had my daughter finish poking the seeds out of the middle because it was a really big one. I had actually two of them that were that big, and she just poked the seeds out of the middle, and I have it right here. This whole tray is full of seeds from two Armenian white yard-long cucumbers, and I am going to be saving seeds from this. I'm going to be putting them in this jar, filling it with warm water and stirring it daily for about 3 days, and after that to ferment it so that I could get the gel casing off of the cucumber seeds. After about 3 days, then I should have viable cucumber seeds for next year at the bottom, and at the top it will be all the gel and all of the seeds that are not good. So hoping to have lots of Armenian yard-long cucumbers. I do have 2 or 3 other cucumbers, I think a Market More and other varieties outside that I want to save cucumbers for. In regular cucumbers, they turn yellow when you want to save seeds from them. They get really big and overripe, and then they turn yellow. So I have like 3 of them out there. With the Armenian yard-long cucumber, it's not actually a cucumber, it's actually a melon. And so it just got really big, and I've never actually saved seeds from it. It's my first year growing it, but I really like the taste of it. I really like that as it gets bigger, you still can taste it. It doesn't get bitter, it still tastes like a cucumber. And so I'm going to be saving seeds from that. I'm going to go outside, pick the other cucumbers, and do the same process, cut it up, pull all the seeds out, and mark them so that I know which, I don't get them confused. We also chopped up onions that I grew, as well as sweet bell peppers, and I'm going to be making a refrigerator pickle. Well, actually I'm going to freeze it, so I'm going to be making freezer pickles, but they're going to be a quick pickle with just the cucumbers, the onions, and the peppers. Same recipe that I made in another video, in a what's for dinner or cook with me video. I'm going to be using the same process, but instead I'm going to be freezing it so that it can last longer because I have so many cucumbers. Then I'm also hoping to, I have lots of onions. If you saw that video where we stored all of our onions inside of a big basket, I want to start getting some of those cut. My son already preserved a gallon-sized bag of them. He chopped them up using our chopper, and I have a gallon-sized bag of onions in my freezer already. But I still have so much onions, and I don't want them to go bad, and so I do want to, any day that I have time, to store some more onions for the winter and for just freezing them so that I can have them for later. So these are all the spicy peppers that I picked yesterday. I had my son cut off the ends and then cut them lengthwise and de-seed them, and then now he's stacking them on this dehydrator tray, and we are going to dehydrate them and make spicy pepper powder. So I'm going to turn this on and put it on low heat and let this dehydrate for about, maybe I'll check it in like 8 hours. I want it to be really crispy to the touch because I am going to grind it into powder. This is the container that we've been putting, these are the yellow cucumbers I picked, all of the onion peels. I got these reusable Ziplock bags off of Amazon. I can link some if you want to check them out. And we are just prepping enough onions to fill this Ziploc bag, so then we'll have another gallon Ziploc bag of chopped onions inside the freezer. So I am going outside to my garage to get some quart-sized jars. I'm going to be canning potatoes. We harvested potatoes, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I want to can some of them. This will be my first time canning potatoes. Right now I have my kids peeling them, and I just put the oven on for some boiling water because you have to blanch them for about 2 minutes before you can them. And I'm going to be canning them, like I said, in quart jars. So I'm getting some quart jars from here. I think we have enough potatoes to do maybe 2 canners worth. I think my canner only holds 7 quart jars, but I'm gonna get these jars. I also had some potatoes, store-bought potatoes, and so I'm assuming this could work with store-bought potatoes as well. So I'm going to go ahead and can those potatoes. I do have some of the smaller potatoes, or the potatoes that I harvested and they were already starting to resprout, and I'm going to do a second wave of potatoes, growing potatoes in my garden. So I have my pot right here of potatoes, and I'm going to let it boil for 2 minutes, or just when it comes to a boil, I'll take it out and then put them inside jars. So this has come to a boil. I'm going to turn it off right now, drain all the potatoes, and get my jars filled. I already have my canner filled with 12 cups of water, because that's what my canner it's supposed to have in it to start canning. I have my last jar going into the canner. The amount of potatoes I made was perfect for just these 7 jars, and so I'm actually only going to do 1 batch. I'm going to put the lid on and then let this go until it starts venting. This is all of the food scraps, and right now my son's just digging a hole because I compost in place, which means I take this compost and then just bury it underneath the soil. I basically just cover it back up with the soil and then just let it compost there, and that's how I compost. I don't as well as feeding my worms or feeding the chickens, but mostly since my worms are already fed, I'm about to harvest worm castings, I'm thinking, and so my worm bin was full. It has actually been a really long day. I know this video is short, but for me, all of that took a long time, but I'm so happy that I got it done. So I canned potatoes, I got a gallon-sized Ziploc bag of onions stored. I got the spicy peppers. They're in the dehydrator, and I do want to comment on the spicy peppers. I am not going to be grinding that in the house. I'm actually going to grind that outside, because I do not want to pepper spray my house or my eyes or anyone in my house, and the fumes can irritate your eyes. And so once that dries, I am going to be dehydrating or grinding that outside. So I got the peppers done. I also made refrigerator pickles with the onions and some bell peppers. I did a gallon-sized bag, and that I'm gonna leave in the refrigerator. But then I also did like 6 storage. They're not storage, they're snack bags, but they're the reusable snack bags, and I'm going to freeze those so that anytime the kids want snacks of pickles, they can just take it out the refrigerator, let it defrost, and then we'll have snack-sized bags of refrigerated pickles. We also got seeds saved from the Armenian yard-long cucumber, miniature white, and then I'm not sure of the third variety. I think it was a market mole cucumber, but I'm not exactly sure, so I labeled it with question mark market more. It was super hot outside today, and so that's why I chose not to go outside into the garden. I was planning on shooting a garden tour, but it's just been really hot. I think the high was like 98 degrees, and it felt like maybe 107. My son had a baseball game this morning, but my husband took him. It was for another championship. He is playing travel ball. So for the past 2 weekends, he's had baseball competitions. So that's where we've been at. But now I'm just getting back into house things like homesteading, preserving, gardening, and all the things. It's actually about 7:30. It feels so nice outside now that the sun is setting back there. I'm actually going to take a walk around the homestead and just look through the garden and just relax for the rest of the night. I still have those potatoes that need to finish pressure cooking, but I'm going to end this video here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.